What's up, guys? Once again, I'm Luke.
Once again, I'm Ainsley.
And as always, we are
Screen Queenie.
And we are concluding today part 3 of our review of Fear Street, a viewer request from Miss Sam Fuller of Michigan, aka Betty Whiteyo. She asked that we watch these and give our thoughts on it, so that's what we've been doing. Thank you for the viewer request. We always appreciate those. This movie was once again directed by Leigh Janiak, and you can catch it on Netflix. It is called Fear Street 1666 with all the sixes to make it super evil. And before Ainsley gets into the story, we're going to give you 5 seconds. Go watch all of these if you haven't yet, so we don't spoil you on anything, because there's going to be major spoilers ahead.
Story goes back to 1666 with Sarah Fear. It tells her story basically from when it starts going down.
This one picks up right where part 2 leaves off, which is Dina, she is trying to save Sam, and they think the way to do that is this witch that we've learned the lore about, that the town, the legend or whatever that the town has been telling for all of these years and centuries or whatever, that the witch's hand was separated from her body because she made some kind of deal with the devil by removing her hand, right? And so they thought when they found the hand, which is something that they did, that if they reunited it with the body, that it would lift the curse, and that Sam would be saved and the town would be saved, and they, their town wouldn't be under this curse anymore. But all it really did was
show Dina what actually happened.
Yes. Pretty much through a series of events, you learn that they are that the villain of the story is not who you thought that it was. The witch is actually not a witch at all. It is the ironically enough, the people with the last name Good in the film. They are, as they say in the film, good is evil. And as the whole thing started in the mall, it kind of ends in the mall with a super gory, bloody Home Alone type, sitting up.
Home Alone were a slasher film.
That's what I'm saying, like a gory, just like these scenes at the end were the Home Alone of slasher films. Yes, horror films. It was amazing. So, what are your thoughts on the film?
I would assume it would be somewhat intentional. It felt like 2 very different films.
There was parts that made me feel uncomfortable in that one, in the first part of this, when they're during the time period, the 1666 time period. There were things that creeped me out.
There were things that kind of made me cringe during some of that. It disturbs me, I guess, when I see the people who think that they are the righteous ones are actually the evil ones, and how quickly they can be led to believe something because that's the easiest thing to believe, right?
It's Puritan values.
Yes, a convenient lie is much easier to believe than a complicated truth, right? And the gentleman who was actually the villain of the time, and actually through the whole film, the family the lineage winds up becoming the villains of the story. The way that these people were becoming killers was the blood thing that we had learned in the first film was true. However, there was way more involved with it as far as people being able to make a deal with the devil in order to save the land that they were on. So that's why their land was considered one thing and the other land was considered something else, right? One
was prosperous and one was not.
Yes. And then you go back to, in the middle of it, they go 1994 part 2, Fear Street 1994 part 2. and we go back to our original characters. And so they hatch this master plan, like I said, that winds up back in the mall again, which is always super fun. They really probably could have cut this into 4 movies. I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed the third film. It was my favorite one of all of them, I think, because...
Well, and it explained everything, and I kind of dig that.
Well,
I like knowing what's going on.
Well, there was a twist too, as far as, all right, we were thinking all this stuff was going on, and really, just as easily as everyone in the town had for so long, we bought into the
witch.
yeah. Who's the real witch here, though?
Right.
Is like who's the real evil person here, right? Just because it was easy to blame that on somebody because you didn't agree with what they were doing, when, I mean, they were even questioning themselves at one point in 1666, right? The 2 girls were.
Right.
And I thought it was really cool that they made a point like where it's like you don't accidentally conjure evil or whatever. It's something you have to make a choice to do. You can't accidentally do that. I am going to say that this final film in the series, I'm going to give it 5 screens. It was that good to me. I thoroughly enjoyed this last installment.
I would give it 4.5.
Okay. So, before we do like our overall ratings for all 3, combined, the set, as you will, the trilogies, the trifecta, the Trace version, whatever. Which one was your favorite?
The third.
That's what I would say too. Which was your least favorite?
It's probably the first.
I'd say the second for me. I really
Second.
Yeah, they were all 3 very different films. I mean, until you got back to the 1994.
I will say from the start of the first one,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, bitch is innocent. She didn't do it. And then when they showed the person who did do it, I'm like, yeah.
You did say
him.
yeah, you did say that. I didn't figure it out until like whenever she went through, and then I started seeing, and I was like, oh, it's him. I really enjoyed the whole thing. I mean, like from top to bottom, I feel like I went through just a whole array of emotions with it. The music throughout the movie is really good. In the third one, we didn't get as good of a soundtrack, but I think that was because it was based. I mean, they didn't have anything in this. Yeah, I mean, we got, what was it, like the last probably like 35 minutes or something like that was in 1994, and that was really good too. But what are you gonna do in the 1600s? Like have some kind of soundtrack with the lute and the lyre on there or something like that. The acting was really good. I mean, from front to back throughout this whole series, as well as the story of this and the way that they chose to shoot this and the way that they chose to tell the different time periods and kind of do it out of order. And it was just, I thought that was a clever way for them to do things. This is the first 5 Scream rating that I've handed out throughout our time reviewing things, and I definitely think that the third film definitely deserved that. Now, saying all of that, because I thought the probably weakest link for me was the second film, I'm gonna have to give the whole thing from top to bottom. I'm gonna give it 4 screens from top to bottom. So, what's your?
Top to bottom, I would give it 4.5.
So, we definitely would tell you to check this series out.
It's worth it.
It definitely is. As I said when we reviewed the first film, kind of felt like, it was a little bit for young adults and stuff, but quickly throughout about 30 minutes into the second one, and pretty much completely through the third one,
It's not even for younger teens.
Yeah, no, this is not for kids. It's not for kids at all. So, it's funny. It is entertaining. You'll be disturbed by some things in it. It has a good statement by the end of it about learning that you decide who you are and not other people. And I enjoyed that message throughout. So that being said, we are going to probably next episode get back to the Wheel of Death. And we appreciate everyone watching us. Please subscribe, as we always ask you to do. Like us.
Follow,
Yes, like us on the social medias.
but not like in person. Don't stalk us. Stalk him. Okay.
No, please do not do that. Check out our internet things, our social medias, our Instagram, our Facebook, and definitely subscribe and check out our YouTube channel. And please tell people about this, because as I've been saying, we want to get a community started with this, because I feel like there's a need for it. We will catch you guys next time. I'm Luke,
Ainsley,
and we are
Screen Queen.
catch you guys.